Hello, you are welcome to today's lesson. My name is Paul Williams of Virginia. Today we have science for basic 6. So pay attention and ask questions. If you have questions, feel free. Go to the comment section and then ask your question. Okay, so let's look at the topic for today. The topic is renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. Let me take it again. Renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. So today we are going to look at energy. What is energy? We have learned about energy from basic 3, 4, 5. We have looked at what an energy is. Today, we are going to look at it again. So what is energy? Energy is the ability to do work. We have learned about sources of energy. That is where we get energy from. Places where we get energy from. And we have seen these sources of what? Energy. But today, the sources of energy that we know, the sources of energy that we have learned, we are going to group them into those that are renewable and those that are not renewable. So renewable sources of energy and non-renewable sources of energy. That is what we are going to do today. And I believe you enjoyed today's lesson. So let's look at the keywords. So the first word here is renewable. Renewable. If something is renewable, it means it can be replaced. It can be replaced after use. The energy in it can naturally be what? Replaced after use. So when you talk of renewable sources of energy, we are talking about sources of energy that can be renewed, that can be replaced after it has been used. Okay, the next one is non-renewable. Non-renewable. Non means not. So not renewable. What it means is that after using it, the energy cannot be restored naturally. No. When the energy gets finished, you cannot replace it, you cannot restore it. So non-renewable sources of energy, they are sources of energy that cannot be replaced after you have used the energy. The energy cannot be replaced after you have used them or you have used it. Okay, the next word is solar. Solar. So solar is all about the sun. Solar is about what? The sun. Okay, and then we have the next word, thermal. Thermal. Thermal also means heat. Heat. Okay, and then the last one is energy. As for energy, you know it. Energy is the ability to do work. Now let's get started. The first question is, what is energy? What is energy? Yes. What is energy? Yes, energy is the ability to do work. So you see, without energy, all of us cannot work. I'm standing here, I'm talking, I'm just moving my hands, my body. It's because of the energy that I have. If you see cars moving, it's because they have energy. If you see television working, it means it has energy. So anything that performs work, that thing performs work because of the energy it has. Human beings, we are able to work because of energy that we have. So today's lesson is about energy. But you look at where this energy comes from. And then later on, we will group them into those that can be renewed and those that cannot be renewed. Okay, so we've seen that energy is, what is energy? We've seen that energy is the ability to do work. And now the next question is, where does energy come from? Yes. So let's look at it. Energy is the ability to do work. Humans, animals, devices, and other objects cannot perform work without energy. Energy is measured in joules. Sources of energy refer to anything from which we get energy to do work. Some sources of energy are the sun, food, batteries, water. Into bracket, we have hydroelectric power. So the water here, we have in front of it hydroelectric power, wind, wood, and thermal. So these are the sources of energy. Sources of energy, we are talking about where we get energy from. Places we get energy from. So if you need energy, human beings, if you need energy, where will you go? Will you go to the filling station, the fuel filling station, fill your stomach with petrol, diesel? Where will you go? Or you connect yourself to electricity to be charged? You see, we don't do that. Human beings, we have where we get our energy. We get our energy from food. That is why after eating, you become so strong and you are able to do a lot of things. We get energy from food. Not all living things get energy from food. Animals get energy from food, alright? But plants, their source of energy is not from the banku that we eat. It's not from the fufu that we eat. Okay, so understand that. And there are many objects that we use, many gadgets, many appliances that we use. And all these objects, all these appliances, all these devices, they have where they get their energy. They have their source of what? Energy. Okay, so if you have torchlight, you should know where torchlight gets its energy. If you have a laptop, you should know where it gets its energy. If you have television, you should know where it gets its energy. The iron, the electric iron that we use, before it can work, it needs energy. And where does it get energy? So that is what you should understand. Okay, and energy, I said, is measured in joules. It's measured in joules. And now, what are the sources of energy? Sources of energy. What are they? Source of energy refers to what? Anything from which we get energy. Anything from which we get energy to do work. That is sources of what? Energy. Or source of energy. Now, what are the things that give us energy? What are the sources of energy? Yes, I've mentioned food for humans. What again? The sun is there, water, wind, battery. You see, there are many. I mentioned them. Let's look at it once again. So, some sources of energy are the sun, food, batteries, water, into bracket hydroelectric power. We have wind, we have wood, and thermal. Now let's look at them in details. Sources of energy. We are looking at all the sources, all the sources of energy that is common here. The first one is the sun. The sun is a source of energy for plants. Plants use the sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to prepare their own food. Energy from the sun is called solar energy. So plants need energy. The energy that plants need is from the sun. So the sun is a source of energy for plants. It's not only plants. We use energy from the sun to do so many things. So let's look at these pictures. But let's start from plants. So this is how plants use sunlight or energy from the sun. Look at this picture. You can see we have a plant here. There is something here. This is the sun. And it's giving what? Light. It's producing light. The plant uses the light from the sun to prepare its own food. So that is called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is about how plants are able to make their own food with the use of what? the sun. Not only the sun, air, water, they are all parts. But without the sun, photosynthesis cannot take place. Okay, so let's look at the next one. This picture, what do you see here? What is here? This is the sun, right? And we have this board, like board. They are not board, they are solar panels. These solar panels are charged by the sun, and it is used to generate electricity. Okay, let's come to this side. What do you see here? These are dresses, right? They are hanged. You see the sun. So we use the sun for so many things, for drying, for generating electricity, and then for photosynthesis. These are not the only importance or only things that we use the sun for. They are more than these. So plants are able to work because, or they are able to make their own food because of the sun. Solar panels are able to get energy because of the sun. The energy from the sun is also used to dry our things. So one of the sources of energy is the sun. Now let's come to this side. Look at this. Number 2, what do you see here? Food. Yes, who doesn't eat food? Do you eat food? Have you eaten today? Yes, I believe you have eaten. So anytime we eat, we get some extra energy, additional energy to do different things that we want to do, right? Okay, so food is a source of energy. Let's look at this picture. Describe what you see here. Yes, how many people can you see here? 5. Okay, so what do you see here? This is what? Food. These are balls of banku. You see the okra soup. They have fish here. Look at this man. Do you know this man? I hope he's not your uncle. Or is your uncle? Okay, so you see they are eating. We eat to get energy. We eat to get energy. And what do we eat? We eat food. So food is a source of energy. Now let's look at the next one. Describe what you see here. What do you see? You see grass field, right? And cows here. So you see all the animals are grazing. They are chewing the grass. So they also get their food from plants. They get their food from plants. Animals get energy from food. And their food is what? Grasses, plants, and other vegetation. Okay. So we have seen another source of energy. We have seen another source of energy. The first one is the sun. Second one, food. So anytime we eat food, we get energy. Now let's look at the next one. Batteries. Batteries. Mention items that are able to work or get their energy from batteries. Which means that without batteries, these items or these devices cannot work. What devices do you know that they use battery? They get their energy from batteries. Watch, wristwatch, wall clock, and the rest, right? Without them, this one will not work. The wall clock will not work. The remote, without battery, it will not work. Now let's look at this. This is mobile phone. If you don't have battery in your mobile phone, do you think the mobile phone can work? No, without battery in the mobile phone cannot work. Now let's look at this. This is torchlight. This is torch, right? So always we put batteries in them. The battery is a source of energy for the device. Okay, so without battery, the torchlight cannot work. So another one is battery. We are looking at sources of energy. We've seen the first one, the second one, the third one. Now the fourth one, that is water. That is water. So let's look at this one. Let's look at this picture. Have you gone to Akosomo Dam before? Do you know the place? Okay, so what is the common next thing that you see at Akosomo Dam? What do you have inside the dam? Water, right? Very good. So they use water, or water is used to generate electricity. Anytime you hear about hydroelectric power, we are talking about electricity or electric power generated from water. So here, water is a source of energy. Water is a source of energy. Hydro means water. Hydro means what? Water. So without water in the dam, there is no way electricity can be produced. Okay. The next one is wind. Wind too is another source of energy. Wind is another source of energy. Now let's look at this picture. What do you see here? These are windmills. These are windmills. They turn. The wind turns them and is able to produce what? Electricity. It's able to generate electricity. When it turns, it's able to generate electricity. And it's the wind that turns them. Okay. So another source of energy is the wind. Another source of energy is what? The wind. Okay. Let's come to this side. Let's look at this. What is this? This is fire from firewood. And then we have here charcoal, fire from charcoal. Have you seen it? Now, they are all sources of what? Energy. Charcoal, firewood. They are from wood, right? So firewood is a source of energy. Firewood is a source of energy because they are able to produce heat. They are able to produce heat. The heat is used to prepare food. The heat is used to boil things. The heat is used for so many things. Okay, so firewood too is another source of energy. Now let's come to this side. Fuel. So when you talk of fuel, we are talking about petrol, we are talking about diesel, we are talking about LPG, all the machines, the vehicle, they get this energy from fuel. They get this energy from fuel. So let's look at the machines that we have here. I have cars. So these are cars. All the cars are able to work. They are able to move because of energy from fuel. Okay, so look at it. These are nice cars. And then we have train here. Yes, they also use fuel. Without fuel, the train cannot move. And look at this one. This is tractor. Tractors too are able to work, or they are able to move because of fuel. The fuel gives them energy to work. Okay, so how many sources of energy have you looked at right now? We have mentioned the sun, food, wind, water, firewood, and then we have also mentioned what? Fuel. What again have you mentioned? Wind. Yes, wind. So these are sources of energy. The last one is thermal plants. Now, it is a power plant that produces electricity using heat. So if you look at this picture, if you look at it well, we can see we have these things here, and they are able to generate electricity because of heat. So anytime you hear about thermal, we are talking about heat. Thermal plant, it means the plant uses heat to work. Without heat, it cannot work. Okay, so if I ask you to mention 8 sources of energy, 8 sources of energy. If I ask you to mention 8 sources of energy, what are you going to write? Sources of energy. Eight sources of energy. Number one. Let's go. Number one. Food. As for food, I know you will not forget it. The next one is what? Sun. Number 3, water. Number 4, wind. Number 5. Number 5, firewood. Number 6, battery. Number 7, we have mentioned this. Okay, fuel. Fuel has not come. Number 8, thermal. So these are the sources of energy that we have learned. This is a source of energy. Human beings, we get energy from food. Human beings, we get energy from food. The next one is the sun. Plants get energy from the sun. Solar panels get energy from the sun. Water. So we use water to generate electricity. Wind. Wind too is used to generate electricity. We have firewood. Firewood is able to produce heat. The heat is used to cook food, to do other work. The next one is battery. Batteries gives torch lights or torch. Batteries give mobile phones. Battery give other devices energy, and they use the energy to do their work. Okay, the next one is fuel. Yes, we are talking about petrol, we are talking about diesel, we are talking about kerosene. All these are used by machines, all these are used by vehicles, and they are used to what? To do work. Without them, it will be very difficult for machines to work. Okay, the next one is thermal. Thermal, we are talking about heat. So these are the sources of energy. These are the sources of energy. Now let's go back. I'll leave this one here, then we'll continue, don't worry. Now, the sources of energy that we have just seen, we are going to group them into 2. Renewable sources of energy and non-renewable sources of energy. So what is non-renewable sources of energy? Let's look at it. Renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. All the sources of energy are grouped into 2, and they are renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. So what is renewable source of energy? Renewable source of energy. Okay, these are the sources of energy that do not get finished or depleted. They are naturally replaced or replenished after being used. So when you are using this source of energy, they don't get finished. You can use it continuously. They will never get finished. And they are being restored, replaced by natural means. So that is what? Renewable. They are always available. Okay, so let's continue. They are naturally replaced or replenished after being what? Used. Let's look at examples. Examples are sunlight, wind, and hydropower. So look at these 3 sources of energy. The first one is sunlight. Can you finish using the sunlight? No. Wind. Can you finish using the wind? No. Hydropower. We are talking about water. Can you finish using water? Can you finish using all the water bodies? You can't. Okay. Now let's look at this. I've even asked the questions. So we cannot finish using the sunlight. The same applies to the wind and then water. They are always available and do not run out. We are talking about renewable sources of energy. As for these sources of energy, they are always there. They don't get finished. They don't get depleted. Okay. They get replaced naturally. So anytime you use it, they are restored by natural means. Okay. This is why they are renewable sources of energy, and we have mentioned the examples. Because they are replaced naturally, we call them renewable sources of energy. They are able to renew. The energy in them are able to get back by natural means. Okay, so we have seen examples of renewable sources of energy. They are three. We have just mentioned three. What are they? The sun, wind, water. These three things, or these sources of energy, are renewable. Renewable means that after you have finished using, it will be replaced naturally. Okay, and you should also understand that these things are always available. They don't get finished. They don't get finished. Okay. Now the next one is non-renewable. Non-renewable is the opposite of renewable. So what is the meaning of non-renewable? It means that these sources of energy, they get finished, they get depleted, and you cannot restore the energy by natural means. So let's look at it. Non-renewable sources of energy. These are sources of energy that get finished, depleted, or run out after being used. These sources of energy cannot be replaced by natural means. Examples are batteries, wood, food, gas oil, diesel, kerosene, and petrol. So we are talking about fuel. Fuel like gas oil, diesel, kerosene, petrol. All these ones, you fill your car with petrol, fill it with diesel, it will get finished and you need to buy another one. Food. Yesterday you ate food. After eating the food, you wash the bowl. The food will not be restored again. You have to go and buy another food. Do you understand it? Wood. If you prepare food by using firewood, what happens to the firewood? It gets burnt into what? Ashes. The ashes cannot be what? Renewed to get wood again. So all these are sources of energy that get finished. When you use them, it gets finished. Okay. Now let's look at these questions. Can you finish using energy in the battery? So battery, if you buy a new battery, you put it inside torchlight. The energy in the battery, can you finish using it? Yes. Because it will get to a point that the torch will not give any light. When the energy in the battery gets finished, the torch will not work. Okay. Can you finish using wood? Yes, we can finish using wood. The wood can be burnt completely into ashes and you will not get the wood again. You will not see the wood again. Can you finish using kerosene? Yes. So we can finish using the above sources of energy. The energy in them can run out or get depleted. Used batteries, food, petrol, and firewood cannot be renewed or naturally regain energy. So we have seen that non-renewable sources of energy, these sources of energy, after using them, or they get finished, they get depleted when they are used. So if you use them, know that when the energy runs out, you will not get it back. When you finish using the energy in them, you will not get it back. Like my wristwatch, it has battery. So the energy in the battery, if it runs out, unless I remove the battery and throw it away. Do you understand it? Because the energy that has been used cannot be replaced again in the same battery unless I buy a new battery. cars. We fill cars with petrol, diesel and the rest. After some time, you see that the diesel, the petrol will get finished. And if it gets finished, the car cannot work unless you buy another petrol, another diesel. So these sources of energy are what? Non-renewable. Non-renewable. Okay, let's come to this side. Why sources of energy must be conserved? So we have seen 8 sources of energy. Why do we have to conserve these sources of energy? Why do we have to make sure that these sources of energy will be there all the time for us? Will be used wisely. Okay, so conserving energy means using energy wisely to avoid wastage. So if you don't want to waste the energy that we have, the sources of energy, if you don't want to waste it, then it means we need to use them wisely. Okay, so the first one that we have to know is that conserving energy saves time. So if you use energy wisely, it saves time. It doesn't delay you. The next one, 2, energy conservation reduces what? Cost. So if you conserve energy, it reduces cost. For example, the lights that we use, the electricity that we use to power our machines in the house, we pay for them. So if you are able to use them well, we will not pay huge sums of money as electricity bill. Do you understand it? If you have petrol in your car and you don't use it wisely, every day you spend money to buy different petrol to fill your car. So if you are able to conserve energy well, it will reduce the cost. Okay. 3, energy conservation protects the environment. So if you conserve energy, if you use energy wisely, our environment, the things that are around us, will be protected. The last one, energy conservation ensures a continuous supply of energy. So if you conserve energy all the time, you have energy to use all the time. Energy will be available for us to use. We are bringing our lesson to a close, but before we do that, let's go back. Let's go back. Now we are back here. We are back. These are the sources of energy. We are going to underline those that are renewable. Those that are renewable. Renewable means that they can be restored. They can be replaced. So let's look at this. The first one, food. After eating your food, in the first place, can you finish eating food? Yes. And after you have finished eating the food, can you get the food back? No. So this is non-renewable. Non-renewable. No, let me clean it. There is no space here. So this is non-renew. The sun. The sun is renewable. Renewable. Water too is renewable. Wind. Is wind renewable or non-renewable? Wind is renewable. You can't finish using the wind. Firewood is non-renewable. Because we can finish using firewood, and after you have finished using it, you can't get it back. Okay, the next one is battery. Battery is non-renewable. When the energy runs out, you throw it away. Non-renewable. Fuel, non-renewable. And then we have thermal. Thermal is heat. let me pick this color. This is thermal for you. Now, my question is thermal a renewable source of energy or non-renewable source of energy? Yes. Thermal. Energy generated from heat. Is it renewable or non-renewable? Write your answer in the comment section and let me know. Okay, so let's go back, but I'm waiting for your answer. Make sure you provide the answer. Okay, so what we have learned today is that energy is the ability to do work, and there are different sources of what? Energy. The sources of energy can be grouped into two: the renewable sources of energy and non-renewable sources of energy. We have seen the meaning of renewable sources of energy, and we have also seen meaning of non-renewable sources of energy and their examples. Okay, so that is what we have learned today. We have also learned about the importance, reasons why we need to conserve energy. Reasons why we need to conserve energy. So these are the things that we have looked at today, and I believe you have enjoyed the lesson. Let's look at the exercises. So exercise 1 is here. Exercise 2. We have exercise 3, home assignment 1. So this is what you are doing as your exercises and your home assignments. Make sure you take your time, you read the book, you watch the video again. If you have questions, ask. Your teachers and your parents are there. Go to them if you have questions, they will help you. If you want to still contact us, the number is here. You can do that. Okay, so we have science textbooks from basic 1 to basic 6. All our textbooks comes with video lesson. So you buy the textbook, you have access to the video for each topic. Our videos are on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, but their links are in the book. So you just scan and then you have access to the content. Apart from science, we have a scientific tree, we have a chemistry. All our books, in fact, they are good. Get copy for yourself, get copy for your school. Once again, my name is Pori. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Bye-bye.